Alrighty guys, we're back for some Gruul Crusher, and this is a Brothers War standard brew. We're going to go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked, but first things first, for anyone who may not know, I'm Redcat, and I play aggro decks, and any decks with red in them as well, so I hope that sounds fun to ya. Also, we do got that Discord link down in the description if you're interested in joining that up. Okay, what do we got in the build here? This one's loosely based around Iron-Craw Crusher. Speaking of which, it's also kind of based around yesterday's budget build. We did a budget mono green build, and I'll go ahead and link that down in the description as well if you're interested. It was actually a very cool deck, and it did a lot more than I expected. So anyways, this is a 7 mana 4/6, but it's rocking that prototype ability here for 2 double green, and you can have this come out as a 2/5 instead. That's why I have it here under the 4 drops. So Iron-Craw Crusher attacks, target attacking creature gets +X/+0 until end of turn, where X is Iron-Craw Crusher's power. Pretty cool ability and a bunch of ways to boost the Crusher here in this build, including Halana, right? So obviously you guys know what this is. I'll go over it briefly though. 4 mana, 2/3 with Gruul colors up there. First strike reach. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put X +1/+1 counters on another target creature you control, where X is Halandao's power. That creature gains haste until end of turn. That's pretty important. The haste on the Iron-Craw is just very, very important because it has a huge target on its back once it actually does enter the board, like any other 4-drop, right? So also Reckless Stormseeker is another way to give it haste and also give it a boost to its power, which is pretty awesome. So the Iron-Craw Crusher in this build can be very explosive overall. So let's go over here to the front of the build. We have a single Hammerhand as well. It's just another way to give the Crusher haste if we're rocking 5 mana, for example, but also just a great aura. And of course, the auras work well with Swiftspear. We got 4 of them in here. Even though it's not like a dedicated build for prowess, we do have a lot of stuff that activates the prowess, and it's just a good, hasty creature, huh? We have 3 Audacities in here, 1 mana aura that you guys have been seeing me play with a lot because I think it's just good. Enchanted creature gets +2/+0 and has trample, and when it's put into the graveyard from the battlefield, draw a card. Yeah, I just think it's solid. We have 3 giant growths in here as well, 1 mana +3/+3. Sounds good to me. We have 4 Tamiyo Safekeeping. Also, Giant Growth with the Monastery Swiftspear is enough reason to try Gruul with the Swiftspear and Giant Growth, huh? Like, that's enough of a reason to try them both in a build. It's just a very powerful instant when put into a build with something like this, you know? Or put into a build with stuff that has trample or ways to give creatures trample too. So, cool. Tamiyo Safekeeping, the most important card of the build right now because there is just way too much removal. Like, it's disappointing how much removal there is right now in Standard. It's going to put in a lot of work. It put in a lot of work yesterday too, so we have a couple lightning strikes. Removal is important. It's also important to just be able to smack the opponent's face sometimes. Couple Outland Liberators, taking out artifacts and enchantments is awesome. We also have a little bit of a wolf theme in here. Not as much of a wolf theme as yesterday's build, but it's still in here a little bit. We have 4 Iconoclasts this time, since we are in Gruul and the trample so important already. Just being able to use the Crusher's ability to buff something that also has trample and just being able to swing in with these big old chunky creatures is super important. But then you're going to be thinking of this as a 3-drop sometimes. Kick it for a red. It comes out with that +1/+1, and it has haste too. So Iconoclast just happens to be a pretty cool and great Gruul card, huh? So I already went over the Stormseeker. Also have 4 Primal Adversaries in here, mainly for the trample. It's that simple. 3 mana 4/3 with trample is pretty decent. It's a wolf, so it also works with the Tovolar. We only have 1 of these in here. It's going to help us draw sometimes. We don't have too many wolves and werewolves, but we do have them in here, so every now and then the Dire Overlord is going to be good enough to draw some cards, especially when you consider how often we're actually just swinging in with like double Stormseekers and stuff and builds that we're playing with it, right? So yeah, Overlord, nice. That's Everything, huh? Oh yeah, with the adversary, we're not going to activate that ability too often, but if the match ever does go on for too long, it is possible to activate this adversary's ability and turn some land into some wolves, which could happen, and it could be pretty good against certain like control matchups and stuff. In the mana base, guys, we actually are rocking a couple Who Endures this time. Now, usually I only like to run one, but this time around, I think it'll be fine to have two. We have a single Crucible as well as our dual lands. Bunch of honorable mentions today. Bushwhack isn't in this one, Snarling Wolf as well, Gaia's Gift, and the Pack Song Pup. They all made an appearance yesterday, but they're not here today because, yeah, just so many cards to pack in since we're rocking Gruul colors instead. Instead of the Lightning Strike, I really considered the Antagonize instead. Giant Growth is 1 mana cheaper, and it's just 1 power less. Like, this is +4/+3, Giant Growth is +3/+3. I still think the Antagonize is something to consider with all of like our trample power and ability or ways to give trample through Audacity and stuff. But I think the Lightning Strike's just going to do more, and being able to spot remove is going to be more important than the Antagonize probably. Okay, guys, hopefully I went over the deck well enough. Either way, let's go ahead, take it into some ranked and see how we do. Right into that first match. That's good news. When I was recording the videos earlier in the week for the weekdays, I was struggling to find some matches. That has not been happening today, luckily. A very slow hand. The opponent goes first too, but I'm gonna try it. We have a bunch of stuff to draw into, and wait, I thought it said the opponent goes first. Am I feeling okay? Right. Yeah, even if we played the mountain, we were gonna try out the Audacity there, so we would have taken the one from the Karplusan Forest. Yeah, I guess we went first, which, I mean, for some reason I thought the opponent was going first. Ah, it's gonna be soldiers. Yeah, the first strike is a no-go. Yeah, let's go ahead and just get the adversary down then. We can't swing into the Thalia, which is a big-time shame. Okay, yep, that Thalia is gonna be a big problem. Let's see if we can have Crusher be a bigger problem, huh? Maybe this Crusher can start doing some work. The big problem about soldiers, though, is just Brutal Cathar, which is why I like that Lightning Strike. Hi, Brutal Cathar. Hello. Right on time, I suppose? They want to buff it above? Okay. Stormseeker. Might be able to buff... Might be able to stay on the board long enough to go ahead and buff the Iron-Craw next turn. Yeah, we're already in a sticky situation. Let's just get everything down. Just get everything on the board, guys. Yep. We're not swinging, because the Thalia just gobbles everything up easily. Oh, buddy, the importance of first strike sometimes, huh? Even with the Crusher being able to buff something, the Thalia locks down this board state until we can successfully get rid of it. Yeah, and the Siege Veteran just successfully buffing everything. These are tough decisions, guys. These are tough decisions. The Crusher needs double blocked for the Thalia to stop it. If we full swing, the Thalia is going to hit whatever we buff with the Crusher's ability. So if we just swing with Crusher, it just buff itself, and I think that's just the best thing. Because it doesn't buff the toughness, unfortunately. We really need a way to... Man, I can't believe how much that locked down that early game. That's really something to consider. Reinforcements. These double blocks are... Oh, they're just going to jump. They just needed to... I guess they didn't want to lose their siege veteran, since it's generating them the artifact soldiers too. Buff the Thalia. Yep, now that can successfully block the Iron-Craw. Tamiyo Safekeeping. That's what I'm talking about, guys. Okay, that's sweet. Yeah, we're in trouble though, aren't we? Let's full swing. Let's do this. Let's do this. They have the Foundry to power up. Our Swiftspears are both going to get a little bit of a buff here. We have a lot of trample on this board. Easy block from the Moonrage Brute too. We buff the Iron-Craw. I think we're goners anyways. So I think it's just better to have fun with a full swing. How do you guys feel about that? How do you guys feel about that? Yeah, I think we're goners anyways, so let's just have fun with it and see where they block to. So the Safekeeping saves the Crusher and takes care of the Thalia. Yep. First strike on the Charger. Yep, we get to take out those two because they're about to get buffed. Nice. Let's do this. Honestly, not bad. I guess it comes down to what they have in hand too. Soaring City. Oh no. My plans. My beautiful plans. We are back up to 18, but yeah, we're just like, actually, that was a pretty good swing, huh? I'm relatively satisfied. It's a little awkward that a single Thalia locked down so many plays early on, but that's kind of what Thalia does. Just happens to be a very powerful card. Another Valiant Veteran. Actually, are they in a situation right now where they can't swing? Because the Veteran would end it, a second one. Well, they had the Foundry too, so... Oh, the buff! Oh, nice, GG, yeah. We forgot about the Fortified Beachhead too, but either way, like I said, we were swinging in for fun, and I'm pretty sure that was just over, especially since we can't keep up with the Veteran well. And then there was like a lot of things that they actually could have just played that would have been terrible for us as well. Yeah, I think that was over. Definitely better just to swing and have fun with it. So in that match, we kind of got to see where the power in Crusher lies. Like, paired with the Stormseeker, you can really get some explosive plays with it. Okay, so overall, this is kind of a better hand. Now, we do go first. It did say it at the top that time, so... yeah. Okay, another giant growth. Let's go ahead and get the Iconoclast down. We're hoping for land, but we don't need it. We'll be fine for a little while. Removal for the Iconoclast early on here. Okay, now the land would be good because giving it Hammerhand would be awesome, or just giving the Iconoclast haste in general would be pretty good too. Wedding Announcement hits. Luckily, the chump blockers don't get around the trample. We hit that land, that's good news. Yeah, it's just going to be Adversary this turn. Let's get that down. And it's rocking the Rafine's Tower, the headquarters. You guys know what this looks like? Oh no. Looks like Union of the Third Path build. Which means they probably just pass here. Wandering Emperor exists in that build, and they like to keep the Union open too. Oh, 2 mana open. Just more basic removal then. More basic removal, and then the Bankbuster draw open this turn. Dire Overlord, nice. Nice, okay. So I wonder if we drop the Overlord and go for a draw. If the Adversary hits in. Probably better than keeping like giant growth and everything open. If we had a Tamiyo Safekeeping, that would be a different I think that would be a different decision. They might double block the Iconoclast, which wouldn't be too bad. Bankbuster's crew for 3, so they can't crew that up. Yeah, double block onto Iconoclast. Like, that's not too bad. I guess the worst thing that would come from that is just basic removal on Adversary. Yeah, we get a draw here. They're down to 12, which I guess they are going for the draw on the Bankbuster. Now we got to be afraid of board wipes. Depopulates is a thing, and then Farewell. They're not there yet, but the Farewell could happen at any moment too. So playing too many creatures out would just kind of... Oh! Mightstone and Weakstone. Okay, this might not be the union of the third path here. Now hold on just a minute. Did we just win? Did we just win? Hold on just a minute here. See, we have the double giant growth. I mean... Oh no, we only have 11, right? Yeah, we only have 11. Wait! Swiftspear, but this can block the Swiftspear. Crap! Crap, guys, we need a second red source for the Hammerhand. If we could go Swiftspear, Hammerhand, then we'd be able to make the human unable to block. I'm a thinking opponent. Maybe they won't block the Swiftspear. It's probably better to go Swiftspear here, since I'm pretty sure we can't win this turn. I'm pretty sure they block the Swiftspear, but we go Giant Growth onto Adversary. Right? Yeah, we only had 11 total. Yeah, the big thing here was just the mana. The mana was enough to make it so that way we couldn't get the 12 damage. So do we go for 10 damage this turn? I think the answer is no, unfortunately. I think we let this go. This is the kind of deck that can gain a lot of life anyways, so being able to use Giant Growth for like buffing Swiftspear or anything like that is probably just more important. Oh man, guys, I thought we were gonna have it, but yeah, the mana base holding us back this time. We might still be able to get there, but that's a pain. Hammerhand's gonna be nice for the Denic. But if they have like a Wandering Emperor open, then even then, if this is like a different version of the Union of the Third Path, they can easily gain a good chunk of life here too. A second, well, actually just a 5th mana, we could get the Iron-Craw, give it haste. And that might be enough. Audacity's pretty good. Let's start with the Audacity. Give the Swiftspear trample. I mean, one of these is gonna die. One of them. At least to an Emperor. And then we can give Giant Growth to the other one. If they remove both of these, then it's probably the opponent's. But this feels like a simple Emperor. Oh, they can corrupt Bankbuster. Yeah. Because Wedding Festivity buffs the Denic to a 3, so Bankbuster can still block here. However, if it is just a Bankbuster, then the Giant Growth does help us there too. Alright, let's see what happens. I mean, I'm definitely full swing, and this is we're to the point where control can just win anyways. So we're gonna try this. It's gotta be removal for Swiftspear then, right? And if it is, the Audacity draws us some. So we might as well try to protect the Adversary. Since it's gonna be removal for Swiftspear. Wait. Okay, they used the Mightstone. They have extra treasure. Emperor hits the Swiftspear. They gain 2 here. We do still get the draw. Oh! Oh, okay. Yeah, nice, nice. Well, we're getting 6 damage through. Oh, man, but the Wandering Emperor gains them that too. Keeping them in this is very, very sticky, guys. Very sticky situation. Ah, man, I can't believe the red source held us back. That's really something to consider for the final thoughts too, though. If we're in the final thoughts and we're just like, man, a lot of those matches, we needed more red sources, then we need to go up a red source, you know? Or maybe even some dual lands. Like, would it really hurt to add some of the, like, life gain dual land or something like that? Because this match, we were struggling for mana at the beginning, too, so... yeah, I mean, definitely something to consider. This is one of those matches, too, where, of course, like the Tamiyo Safekeeping, I kept saying it, it's just super important. Alright, we drop the Iron-Craw and pass our turn, if the Iron-Craw can hit, of course, as they have a ton of mana open. This looks like the kind of control deck that can actually wrap up a game as well. Farmhand can't activate Coven just yet, unless... yeah, they can power up Bankbuster and then activate Coven, actually. Because Bankbuster will be a 5/5 thanks to the Festivity. There were a few moments, too, where if, like, we did have more mana, then the Who Endures actually would have come in handy as well. Wow, yeah, this match was dictated by the land for sure, and that's really something to consider. Sometimes you just get unlucky. Sometimes the mana base needs a little bit of work as well, so we got to take it all into consideration. Okay, they go for a counter on the Seasoned Cathar, and the lifelink on that is probably just enough. They're swinging with the Denic too. They're feeling pretty confident here. Yep, we're just going to take it. I'm feeling pretty confident for them as well. That is a ton of damage, a ton of lifelink. We just played with Ambitious Farmhand, and it was for an aggro build. It was a reconstruction build, actually, and it was a really good build. I think we had a 100% win rate that video. But Ambitious Farmhand is actually just really good. Like, there's so many reasons to like it. Wow, it goes to nighttime. And again, one more mana. We could have went Stormseeker. Well, either way, they probably have more removal open. And they're at 18, too, so I don't think it matters too much. Oh, the Make Disappear. The Make Disappear, guys. Well, this is my fancy way of conceding. Let's go ahead, swing at this, see if they let us take out the Wandering Emperor, because they still have 2 open mana. So they could block and then kill the Crusher with whatever's left in their hand. Oh. Okie dokies. They go for the trade, we get a draw, and we'll drop them the GGs. Tough match, guys. Tough match when it came to the draws, but overall, we did pretty good. Like, there was that moment where our deck could have been explosive enough. So, I mean, I'm kind of relatively satisfied with that fact, you know what I mean? The fact that it has the capability should be important. Ooh, right into that next match. Yeah, a lot of people must be playing right now. Or, like, I think there was a recent update too, or something happened, like the servers went down or something, and things have been a little bit faster since then. Well, we got the double red source this time, guys. Opponent goes first. Okay, it actually says opponent goes first too. I double checked to make sure I'm not seeing things this time. Okay, Haunted Ridge. Yeah, we'll go ahead and take a damage for the Swiftspear, get it down. Actually, I really like the concepts of this build. There's a lot of cool stuff going on. Okay, Grixis. Grixis. Ew. Alright, let's start with the swing. Alright, a Make Disappear on Iconoclast isn't that bad, because Stormseeker getting down next turn is more important if we can actually get a turn 4 Hallandal. That is one Make Disappear out of their deck, so... let's hope they don't just pass here. Corpse Appraiser, okay. Blocks the Stormseeker pretty well. Yeah. That's okay, though. We'll keep Stormseeker around. It might just get eaten by some spot removal on their turn, then. Could always haste out the Iconoclast. See if they can, if they trade with the Appraiser. Could also start with a swing. Go Giant Growth instead. Because then, I am going to keep the Who Endures and take extra damage, by the way. If we take out the Appraiser with a combat trick, we just play the Iconoclast this turn. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Well, it's 2 cards. No. We get to keep the Swiftspear. Okay, we actually just cheese in the 1 damage. Okay, I guess we'll play the Stormseeker then. They did not want to lose the Appraiser. And we do have the Hallandal available for next turn, which could honestly be enough with the Stormseeker. Okay, Flesh Gorger. Menace Lifelink Ward. I think we still swing into this board state, right? Honestly, though, the 3rd Iconoclast, my goodness. The Giant Growth might just be better than giving haste to the Hallandal. The first strike on Hallandal's good. Double block has to go somewhere. Wow, man, tough decisions. Okay, I think we just do this while we can. Take 1 damage. Get that down. We want the Stormseeker ability to happen first. We still have to target with the Hallandal first, though, and we want that to go onto Stormseeker. Alright, they have to double block Stormseeker or double block Hallandal. And either one is fine with us. If they double block Hallandal, we can take out Flesh Gorger before they gain life with it. So let's see what they do. If they keep Hallandal on the board, then we'll be pretty good to go for a little while. Okay, they go for the Stormseeker. Okay. Oh, we should have swung with... No. We swung with Swiftspear, then they could have chumped the 5 with the Appraiser and hit Swiftspear with the Flesh Gorger. Oh no, the cut down, the simple cut down, taking out the Hallandal and Flesh Gorger number 2. Honestly, still kind of feeling pretty good, just based on our hand and everything. So let's go ahead, haste this out. We have the Giant Growth. I mean, Grixis is just a tough uphill battle regardless. We're gonna full swing here. If we can take out Flesh Gorger, then that means everything. Goes to a 5-6. Pretty cool. Flesh Gorger's out. They're back up to 18. They have 3 cards in hand, though. Corpse Appraiser. Okay. They're going to keep those 3 cards in hand. The Corpse Appraiser really showing its value these last, like, I don't even know, these last couple months, really, huh? Just being able to be a solid body for 3 mana, and then also the Exile ability actually comes into play a lot more than you would ever think, too. Swiftspear is going to be chilling back, but they might not block it this time. No, they still block it. At some point, they have to anticipate we run out. Do they still block it? Yeah, they still block it. Because if we end up using another Giant Growth... Okay, gotta get the damage through somehow before the Fable hits, right? Let's get the Liberator down. Or try to. They do have enough for a Make Disappear. It's gonna be a go for the throat on the Liberator. Fable of the Mirror Breaker, yeah, yep. That's like they get rid of the Liberator to make sure we can't take this out. Okay, now what can we draw? Tamiyo Safekeeping. Whew, buddy, that would have been That would have come in handy this game. Well, we can at least make the Swiftspear a pretty good blocker next turn with the Safekeeping. Taking out the Shaman is pretty solid. The problem is they are getting ramp here, and then of course Invoke Despair can hit before combat too. Of course we could always get rid of the Iconoclast there. Alright, let's take this out. Won't let them ramp anymore. It's a fine target. It's a fine target. Unless they have removal. Oh yeah, the cut down. Well, 2 cards for 1, and they got to keep their ramp. Was it a bad play to go for the Safekeeping, anticipating more removal from the opponent? And we're dead here, huh? Yeah. Chi-Chi opponent. Oh man, so much value from Grixis. Oh, go for the throw anyways. Good game. Good game. If only we could play 16 Tamiyo Safekeepings. Nah, that would be pretty bad though. It was a good game, honestly. I feel like there were a few moments there where it could have gone very differently. We had the Hallandal on board, but yeah, cut down hits the Hallandal, unfortunately, which kind of makes it like, yeah, like sure the Tamiyo Safekeeping's important, but when decks are running 3 to 4 cut downs already, like, I mean, yeah, Giant Growth can help you get around that too though, huh? So I guess it's just one of those moments. Opponent goes first again. Yee. No third mana, which makes me a little bit scared this time, since we were struggling to see mana early and we got a lot of 3-drops in hand. But we'll be fine. We got the Iconoclast. We have the Safekeeping, drew an Audacity, which is pretty good too. Spirited Companion. We're fine, guys. We're fine. We got plenty of mana in here. We're fine. There should be 23 in a build like this, and we might want to make the argument for 24 if a couple of these matches we were actually like struggling to find mana. So yeah, okay. Hammerhand on Okan. Oh my goodness, I apologize for my words today, guys. Hammerhand on Iconoclast is actually pretty solid, but it would be a lot better if we could put it somewhere else too. Audacity is fine. I think getting it up to a 4/3 is pretty good. Make it so that way Companion can't block. Yeah, missing the third, it wouldn't be an issue if we had more of our 1s and 2s, which we do have a ton of 1s and 2s. Like, I mean, we had 3 of them in hand already. The problem is having all these 3-drops here. And then, of course, the Iron-Craw on the top end, too. Touch of the Spirit Realm. Alright, Tamiyo Safekeeping just being an MVP in every deck that I put it in recently. Keep that Iconoclast around. Gain a little bit of life, too. You have a forest open if they want to copy. They go for the copy? They go for the copy, yeah. Do we still get to gain 2, or does the Tamiyo Safekeeping fizzle? Uh-oh, I think it fizzles. Uh-oh, we don't get to gain the 2? Oh, no. Now we get to see a little bit. Another 3-drop. Uh-oh, guys. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, this is my fault for not dropping the mall again. Oh, no. I apologize, guys. Army of Transient, sure. Yeah, we're still seeing a lot of Selesnya enchantments, which is pretty cool. It's cool that it's still alive and kicking. I think it would totally be worth... third mana. Let's go, guys. We got there. I don't know how many turns that actually was, but we eventually got there. The oops, indeed. I should have mulliganed. I definitely should have. Second Weaver of Harmony. third Weaver of Harmony. Opponent just going for all of it, man. I mean, why not when it buffs this board state too? Just gonna take it. We're just gonna die. Good game, opponent. Like, there wasn't much we were gonna be able to do next turn either. They definitely were able to run away with that one. It's just better to get right into the next match. Keep on rolling. So far, I'm far more impressed with yesterday's budget build. Like, first of all, we were actually able to get wins, but second of all, like, it just felt like it did a lot more, I guess, which is kind of surprising. I guess it's one of those things where now that we're playing with 2 colors instead of 1, we are going to have issues with the mana base sometimes, even if we have a good balance of the 2. Whenever you're just rocking a monocolored deck, you know, every land is a forest, and so now you don't have to worry about having that double red where that one match, if we did have the double red, we would have won there, you know, so... Okay. I guess we try this, huh? Like, we actually have 3 mana. Opponent's going first again, which is, I guess, terrifying. Go ahead and start with the Vale here. Only having the Swiftspear as a 1-drop is a little bit scary, but overall... Okay, we have the Lightning Strike open. Hopefully we have just a terrific target for the Lightning Strike here. Hopefully. Yeah, Iron-Craw, once we can actually get it rolling though. Yeah, this is a perfect target. Get that out of here, huh? Get it out of here. This is an artifact or creature, right? Sacrifice an artifact, yeah. Okay. Well, I guess Stormseeker, actually, if we waited for turn 4, we would have had Safekeeping available for the Stormseeker, but waiting an extra turn feels so bad. But now the Stormseeker probably dies. Oh no. Oh no, guys. But I'll tell you what, if it doesn't die, that Iron-Craw is coming down. Oh, Anvil number 2. It's gotta be like removal for the Stormseeker. They go ahead and go for a couple 1/1s here. Okay. They must not have too many other artifacts, unless they want to use one of the 1/1s for a Voltage Surge. Which I guess they would want to do on their turn. Well, they don't know we have this Safekeeping, so... Hey, Adversary's a terrific... Whoops. A terrific draw. Yeah, that's better than the Crusher. Because we get to keep the Safekeeping open. And that's just way more important. If it ends up being like a cut down for the Stormseeker, we could always go Giant Growth too. And then save the Safekeeping for next turn. But the Giant Growth can help us close up a game like this. So... Well, I mean, they let us have the haste, so maybe it's not removal. I guess Safekeeping would still be better than the Giant Growth here, because yeah, if we can close up a game with the Giant Growth, or like plug that extra onto the Crusher too. It's going to be a Voltage Surge. What do you guys think that last Abandoned Mire is over there? Let's go for more damage this turn, keep the Safekeeping. I talked myself into it. Since the Adversary has Trample, I like the Giant Growth here. We just don't know what that last thing there is, so... They only get the 1/1 on their turn. They're down to 8, so... I mean, maybe the Crusher is actually going to do a thing next turn. If we can give it haste with the Stormseeker. They get Reflection. This deck definitely has a bunch of removal and stuff. So, again, if they let us have our untapped mana, let us have the Safekeeping available for their removal, then that's actually huge for us. We're going to plug that extra Iron-Craw damage into the Primal Adversary. Okay, a lot of blockers, but... And they're back up to 9 because of the Anvil. Must be Voltage Surge number 2. And they're thinking, do they want to do it on their turn so we don't have protection? And the answer is yes. But hopefully they don't, because I really want to see this Crusher do something. Nice. Okay, we'll keep Crucible because we drew the 5th mana to keep the safekeeping. So we're going to go Crusher. This is going to be awesome. This is going to be awesome, guys. They got to do the Voltage Surge, or they want to try it before we get haste, but either way, we're going to give protection to whatever they try to kill, so... Alright, so, yep, Voltage Surge number 2? No? Something, right? Opponent's keeping me at the edge of my seat right now, for sure. I mean, either way, only one open mountain. I can only imagine the safekeeping is enough. Oh, please let me play it out. Please don't concede. Oh, please let me play it out. Yes. Yes. Onto the adversary's trample. They're forced to block here. At least one of them. That's still 10 going through. That's 7 going through. Woo, buddy, that was fun. Okay. Now the opponent can do whatever they want. If they want to win, they can win. They let us have our fun with the Crusher. So nice. GG opponent, we got that victory. So one of the things that could happen easily was 5th mana, and then a Burn Down the House does 5 damage to everything. It would have wiped up this board easily. However, they would have been tapped out, and Crucible of Defiance would have been able to come down and swing for 2 with 2 little 1/1. So I guess even if it was a Burn Down the House, we would have had that, huh? So sweet, nice. I guess in that case, no, because Trample, I was going to say maybe the Devils would have been better, but we actually got that victory for the last game, guys, and I couldn't be more satisfied. There's a lot of really neat little concepts here. We just didn't get to see a whole lot of them today. The meta's always brutal right now, so it's tough to actually try out some of these more, like, janky, on the janky side of the thing, you know, the jankiness. Trying to think of words here, but here's the deck list again, guys. I'm satisfied. I'm really happy we actually got that victory at the end. I think maybe a single Bushwhack would be worth having in here, since like a single Bushwhack would have been able to help us find a mountain in that one game, and maybe having that mountain would have actually been able to, you know, squeeze an extra victory in, just because our mana base wasn't cooperating in a few of those matches. So if we look here, we got 38% red and 62% green as well. So yeah, 23 of the cards have green, 14 of the cards have red. If we look in the mana base here, we'll split this up, and then we got all the dual lands in the middle. We have 10 total green sources, but 2 Who Endures, so they both can't be on the board. We're actually just using one of those to take care of like enchantments and stuff, which is very important, honestly. Then we have the 5 over here for the red sources. I guess we could go up a red source. I wouldn't want to drop a green source, though. Then we have the 23 total land, too, and I do think 23 is perfectly fine in this deck. But again, maybe it's just the Bushwhack, huh? Instead of going up a mana or up a red source, just go up a Bushwhack. Just one. I think Bushwhack also works well with like Monastery Swiftspear, which I think was actually a pretty solid card in this build, even though a lot of our, like, the deck is mostly creatures. Just like having all of these other cards work with Swiftspear, and just having a nice little hasty creature on the front of the build too. I feel like it just ended up working out nicely overall. But another thing you could consider is maybe some of the front end wolves as well to work with Tovolar. If you end up doing that, you probably want 2 Tovolars, but as we saw in the matches where we saw, The Tovolar, it was actually just too slow to keep up with the amount of removal that the opponent can just continuously dish out. Like if you look at like the Grixis match, the way they are just able to consistently keep up pace and just keep up a board presence, they just have so much value all the time, and then they're removing stuff and it just doesn't feel like they're actually losing any cards out of their hand. So keeping up with something like that, the Tovolar is just a little bit too slow unless you can, like, I don't know, even giving it haste with Stormseeker, you know, against a Grixis build like that, they have those 3/3s, those Corpse Appraisers, so it ends up just being super tough, right? The decks like Soldier builds, the Thalia's First Strike is just disgusting. We have plenty of ways to get big old chunky creatures, but so do they. So keeping up pace with that is very difficult, and one of the best ways to just take out a Thalia is hoping that they fall for a combat trick then off of like a giant growth, or actually maybe seeing your lightning strikes when you need to see them too. So overall, I like it. Pretty solid, but honestly, yesterday's budget build was probably just a little bit more solid somehow, and just like upgrading yesterday's budget build into Gruul, probably isn't worth it. Like upgrading it and just keeping it mono green, that way you're not having too many issues with the mana base. You might just have more fun with just like mono green wolves with a couple crushers on the top end, or like a single crusher, right? Because overall, doing things with crusher ends up being a little janky, especially if you're doing it like this style and you're not trying to like cheat it out as a 7 mana card and then using the boon as well, which of course is really, really cool, and we'll have to visit that at some point in the future too. Guys, if you made it this far into the video, holy cow, hi. What are you guys doing here, right? Seriously though, you guys are champions. I super duper appreciate you, and I will see you in the next video.